On this episode of Too Many Project Garage, it's the moment you all been waiting for. We're working on the Del Sol. Stay tuned. So here we are. I've already started working on pulling the engine apart because I thought the timing belt broke, because last time I tried to start it, it was running perfectly, but then I tried to start it and then it just had no compression at all. So I was like, oh crap, the timing belt's broken or whatever. Well, I got the whole timing belt cover and everything off and the belt's fine. So I was like, what the heck? Why does it have no compression? So we ended up looking here under the valve cover. Let me get the valve cover off real quick. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Got it. And as you can see, it's pretty sludged up. So whoever owned the car previous to me probably weren't the best about changing the oil. Also, they used red RTV to seal the valve cover gasket, which sucks. So who knows how much of that's in the engine. But the intake, let me get a light here for you guys. As you can see, the valve cover, or the valve, not cover, but the valve, valves are like stuck. So they were sticking basically is what was happening, causing it to have no compression. So no fun. So I think what we're gonna have to do is pull the head off, replace the valves, and retime it and all that jazz, and it's gonna be fun. But stay tuned for that, because it's gonna be a process. Check it out, guys. I got all my new parts. Got a gasket set, some genuine Honda seals, and some valve tube seals. Got ARP head studs because I figured, you know, why not? And then new valves and belts. So we should be able to get all this back together, hopefully by the end of this weekend. We'll see if anything goes wrong. Probably will. All right, guys, we've got the exhaust off. We got the timing belt out. We got the camshafts out. We actually have to have all that out in order to access the head bolts, which I don't even see them yet, so I think we'll have to continue disassembling to get to them. So just one of those things about having a dual overhead cam engine. We've got everything over here. Oh, Colin was in the way. Got everything over here laid out so we can remember which one's which. This is exhaust, this is intake, and we've got them lined up in the exact order they need to be. And then we've got these over here, these little top cap thingies. We know which ones are which on those. So now it's I think we need to take the intake off and then we can take the head off. Hooray. All right, after like an hour or two, I don't even know how long it's been, like, it feels like a million years just passed. We got this thing off, the stupid support for the back of the intake, and we got all the intake bolts out. So we can take the intake off. When we take the head off, intake will stay, head will come. It was not a fun experience, but we did it. I'm very tempted to not put that back on, but since it was original and all the bolts and everything were still intact, I'd feel bad if I didn't put it back on, just because the car's still complete. But definitely put in the comments below what you would do. I'd be interested to see, but I'm probably going to put it back on. Anyways, now time to take out the head bolts and pull head off vehicle, finally. Oh, it's going to be exciting. All right, check it out, boys. We got the head out. Let's look at the engine bay real quick while I'm holding the head. Looks a little crusty, a little burnt, a little, what do you call that? Carboned, but not too bad. We'll have to take a closer look once I put this head over here. All right, guys, check this out. Looks like we do have a bent valve here at least, because that one's not fully seating. That one's not seating at all, even if you smack it with a hammer, so you know that's dead. And I think these are a little high too, so we're just going to replace all the intake. The exhaust look perfectly fine, so that's it. I think that's our problem. We're checking everything out here. The intake looks a little carbony, kind of gross looking. I'm not sure exactly how that's possible, but I think that's what, from just lack of maintenance, I guess. Yeah. But the pistons look really nice, or the pistons, not the pistons, but the cylinder walls look really nice.
The pistons too.
The pistons look nice too. They didn't look like they impacted or anything. I think that just that one, well, maybe they did impact, because obviously that one would go back in, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think
It's tough.
There's like a line on this guy, and that's the one that was sticking out. You see the line in right there?
Maybe.
This one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. You see
a little shinier there in that one spot. So yeah, I bet that's what it was.
Oh, if you get this right, get that angle right there.
Oh yeah, I can see a little shininess.
Catastrophic damage.
No catastrophic damage, which is good because I would be very sad if that was the case. So exciting. So now we're gonna clean the ever-living crap out of everything, and then we're gonna put it together again. Hooray. We're trying to get this valve out that was definitely bad, and it's really giving us some trouble. It's kind of annoying. We're gonna use a transfer punch or a punch to smack it out, but it's really giving us a tough time. I think it might be pretty bent. Alright guys, after a lot of struggle, we managed to get the valve out, and here's the valve right here. It is so carboned up. It's so bad. Many oil changes. We bent the valve trying to get it to move back and forth. We actually had to take a torch and heat the head up and smack it with a little piece of tool steel, and that did the trick. So we're going to see if we can get the rest of these out. Wish us luck, because if it's this bad on this one, I'm worried about the rest. So fingers crossed. All right, ladies and gents, we've got all the valves out, and oh my gosh, were they stuck in there. We had to use a torch on pretty much every single one of them to get it out. This one by far is the worst one. As you can see, it is just so crusty. There's so much like carbon buildup. I think what we've theorized, at least, is that the valve stem seals were leaking, and eventually it just carboned up to the point where it was just really bad. Like, as you can see here, look at all this carbon buildup in the intake runners. So we're gonna clean all that out, clean out all of the valve guides with this, and relap everything. So that's next on the list. We're dremeling it. Oh, smacked me right in the eye. Oh, that was not good. You good? Ooh. Ooh. I can still see. Okay, we're good. That was very violent. I don't know what that was that flew out and hit me in the eyeball, but something did. It was very scary. Oh, my eye's watering like really good now. Anyways, we're cleaning all the carbon buildup out of these guides, or whatever you want to call them.
Look at this, it's cleaned up nice. See it already?
Oh yeah, way nicer. Compare. Black as night. Clean. I'm gonna get out of there before my eyeball gets punctured. All right, guys. Just to give you an update, we've got 3 mostly cleaned. I'd say like 80, 99.5%. As you can see, it's very clean in there. Let's get a light. You can see it so much better in real life versus the camera. So as you can see, so much nicer. And then you see, so nasty. Oh my God. Here's what it looks like down the runner there versus, there's still a little bit of carbon in there, but oh my gosh, so much better. Cannot complain. And then we got to work on the intake, because it is pretty crusty as well. As you can see, pretty crusty down there. But yes, progress. All right, guys, this is where we're leaving it. We've got dog barking outside, and we need a valve, lap the valves. So we're leaving it on valve lapping. Unfortunately, this valve lapping tool that we have is absolute and total garbage. This is literally hard as a rock. So we need to go get a proper, not crappy valve lapping tool. Hopefully we can find one tomorrow, and once we find one, then we can actually lap the valves just fine, and then we'll be able to start putting things back together. So that'll be tomorrow, because it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, as you can see by the clock up there, and I'm tired. So see you guys in the morning. All right, we're back, day 2 here, and we're cleaning up the valves to put in the exhaust. We've already got all the intake valves lapped. They all look really good. And we're trying to clean up the bottoms, or clean these up so that we can reuse the exhaust, because they're fine. This is kind of what it looked like before. Pretty crusty. Especially the bottoms are really crusty. But we got them all cleaned up, and they should lap in nicely. So Yes, we're going to clean up this last one, and then we're going to go get another valve lapping tool because this one is trash. It doesn't work at all. We got one from AutoZone, and it was okay, but I'm pretty sure this one's set on their shelves at O'Reilly's for like, I don't know, 10 years or something, and nobody ever bought it. And it doesn't, the rubber is so hard, you might as well, you could use it as a freaking tire. I'm telling you, that's how hard the rubber is. Anyways, wish us luck. New valves are going in. Very exciting. Going in smooth. Lubing them up with a little bit of oil.
These are the OG valves.
Yeah, we're using the original exhaust valves just because they were fine. They just needed cleaned up. Just got to give them a little tap and it'll slide on in. Oh yeah. You can tell where it's been, like it takes a second to go down because that part's never been in the valve seat, and then it goes in real smooth because that part's been worn down over time. Some of these we couldn't get quite as clean as we'd have liked, but that stuff, that crustiness there,
on there.
it does not want to come off. So it's fine. It wasn't hurting it before, so I'm gonna hurt it now. So, and we're excited to get it back together. So we just need to lap these again just to make sure, because I think we might have got one out of order. So we're just gonna have to lap them again. Honestly, it probably needs lap because the valve seats looked a little crusty anyways. So it'll be nice to lap them, and then once it's lapped, then we'll clean the whole thing off with a whole bunch of brake clean, get it nice and shiny again, and then we'll start working on putting it back in the car. All right, guys, we've got an update. We've got all the valve sim seals in and all the keepers and springs and everything. And so the head's basically put together for now. And then what we're gonna do now is come on over here and we're gonna install the ARP head studs that I bought so we can set the head on. Ignore all the mess. We're gonna power wash the crap out of this thing once they're done. It's kind of a little violent. We had to clean up this whole thing and it made a bit of a mess. So let's go install these ARP head studs. Woo! Update again. ARP head studs installed. They just need to be hand tight, is what they said in the instructions. And next we're going to work on the water pump. We got to replace a water pump while it's easily accessible. I've already replaced the oil filter because it's super accessible right now. So that's next. All right, after a little bit of struggle, we got the water pump on. The new tensioner's on, just kind of loose because we have to obviously tension it. So now it's time to put the head on, and then we'll put the intake on, and then everything will just kind of, we'll just have to wrap it up, and then it'll be ready to go. So, woo! So far, so good. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it'll start because the batteries might be low. Did you hook up the?
I can hook up the jump pack.
Yeah, probably good idea. Oh! Gotta push on the clutch. Ooh! We got it just hooked up, just enough. In neutral. E-brake on. I hear beep, 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 beep.
Hold on.
Oh, now it's really beeping. Okay, yeah, we definitely do that. Ready?
Yep.
Nope, nothing's happening. Why nothing happening? I don't think that's on enough. You're hooked up.
I mean, everything's.
Oh, it just wasn't getting good into connections. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so slow.
You're getting more speed than that. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
A cough to life. The timing belt seems incredibly slack. Turn it off. Timing belt's like. It's got a ton of slack.
I don't know why
Yeah.
the tensioner's not tensioning.
That's okay. We can retension it.
All right, guys, I'm back for another day working on the Del Sol. As you can see, we kind of left the shop in chaos, unfortunately. And I've got Garfield here chilling out with me right now. He's meowing at me. He wants attention. I don't have any friends with me here today, sadly enough. So it's been really tough to motivate myself to get out of the shop and work on, oh gosh, this cat, work on the Del Sol. Yesterday was so cold, and today is much warmer. It's like 60 degrees out today, whereas yesterday was like 40 or something. All right, get down. Come on, get down. Okay, whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started. I've got to replace this coolant hose way back in the back there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's been chewed on by rats. When we had the head off and the intake off, probably should have pulled it off then. I didn't. Regrets. You know how like things, you tend to do things and then you're like, oh crap, I gotta get there to do stuff, and now you gotta do it the hard way because you blocked yourself. So I'm gonna do that. I'll show you the rat chewed up coolant hose here in a minute once I get it out, and then I'll show you the new one I bought. All right guys, just completed getting this hose out from the back of the engine bay, and that was horrible. I hated it, every single second of it. And one thing I found out, and I probably should have known this, but you know, you don't think about everything, especially when there's nobody else around. The hose part that goes into the firewall to the heater core, that is made out of like aluminum or brass or something. I don't know exactly what. And I ended up like bending up the inlet tube, or the tube that goes to the heater core, quite a bit, trying to get the hose off. So just FYI, if you ever take a hose off the heater core of a Honda, use a knife, cut it with a knife and like peel it around, because yeah, it was not fun trying to straighten that hose out. It was very like oval shaped whenever I was done with it. So I've kind of recovered it a little bit. It's still not perfect. You probably can't see it down there, but it's down there. Wish me luck. I'm hoping it doesn't leak. Fingers crossed. Lessons learned, guys. Be careful. You know, because you normally can get like a wrench on it and just wiggle it with a wrench, right? Squeeze it and wiggle it with a wrench. That's if it's on aluminum. You know, like a cast aluminum piece, not the stupid heater core. And I do not want to replace the heater core if I can't help it. So I think I bent it back to a circular shape enough that I can put a clamp on it and it won't leak, but we'll just have to see, you know, when I start driving it, if it starts leaking. But yeah, cut it, see where it's cut there, and then peel it around, because it ain't coming off just pulling straight, and you can't wiggle it off either. So, oh yes, let's grab the new hose here. Here's the new hose. It's a Gates hose. Looks like it's pretty much exactly the same, so I should be able to get it on there, assuming I didn't destroy the inlet hose for the heater core. All right, guys, a little bit further along. We've got the valve cover on. I'm missing one of the little A-core nuts. Unfortunately, I don't know where it went, so probably fell on the ground or fell in a crevice somewhere and I can't find it. Probably gonna buy new ones anyways, because these are kind of ugly, so that's not a big deal. I've got the side covers on, I've got the valve covers on. I will have to take the valve cover off in order to do the valve lash, but for now I'm just gonna kind of put everything together, because it's not hard to take the valve cover off. Get that on there. Not too hard to take the valve cover off, so I figure why not put it on there for now, so that way it keeps everything out of the engine. And next thing I'm going to do is install the accessories and the crank pulley and all that. I want to take off the AC pulley, because I've got a new AC pulley in my stuff here. Here it is. Brand new, brand spanking new, because I figure, you know, I want to use AC, so I'm going to get a nice pulley. Nice new bearing and everything, because this one seemed a little bit not so great, as you can hear. So what I'm going to do next is put that on, and then start putting the accessories on and all that. So hooray. But further along, also I got to figure out where that went. I dropped the bolt down somewhere. I don't know where it went. It's probably going to be stuck somewhere on the engine for the rest of all eternity, but luckily I have some spare bolts around, so it's not that big a deal. I just kind of disappointed because, you know, I dropped it, and it's never fun dropping stuff. Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys, this is why I replaced that coolant hose. It's got some bites on it. I don't really trust it. It's pretty old. It's still flexible. All the coolant hoses are flexible, so I trust the rest of them, and the other ones are easier to get to. It's just this one especially, you know, looks rough, so figured replace it. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $10 for the hose, so it was not that big a deal. So all right, next thing's next is that, and then I'm going to start putting the rest of the accessories on. Check it out, guys. Got this one out, and man, oh man, was it hard. But as you can see, it's pretty crappy. See, it shouldn't spin that long. Look how it's a dry bearing. Whereas this one, you spin it, it almost immediately stops. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but much better. And it looks pretty sweet in comparison. Look at that. Gross. Good. I think it goes like that. Well, maybe like that. They almost look like a different diameter, but no, they're the same. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and swap this out, and fingers crossed it does much better. All right, guys, got all the accessories back on. I've got the air box put back on, air intake. Just missing a few things I lost along the way. Unfortunately, I missed like one of these acorn nuts disappeared. I was able to salvage one of those bolts there from one of my other parts vehicles. I put this back on. Dude, I cannot wait till I take it to the car wash. Holy crap. Next thing, I need to put coolant in. And I still need to get a new motor mount. As you can see, this motor mount just fell apart. It goes right there. Where my hand's pointing at, if you can see that. So I got to get a new one of those. I ordered one from O'Reilly's. It was only $13.99. It was on sale. So I was like, heck yeah, sign me up for that. I've got all new belts on here. So we're fully new belts. All new belts, timing belt, AC belt, water pump belt. Oh, well, that's part of the timing belt. Anyways, you know what I mean. All new belts. It's looking pretty darn good too. You know, there's probably a few things I've missed, but I'm fairly confident I got most of it. Now, one thing we will need to do still is do the valve lash, because I'm sure right now it's not going to be running very well. But, you know, let's put it together and, you know, see. Let's put some coolant in, see if it leaks out somewhere. And once that's done, we'll start it up and we'll see, fingers crossed, it'll run okay. Because we did a heck of a job on this thing. And now, like I said, it's probably not going to run perfect. Just mainly do the valve lash. But other than that, I think it'll run pretty good. Anyways, let me get this coolant put in, and we'll start her up. All right, moment of truth. I'm about to hook up the battery jump pack, because I'm sure that battery is destroyed at this point. It's from 2013, so over 10 years old. And I'm going to see if we can start this thing up and let it run for a little bit. It's probably not going to run well, guys, but until I get the valves all lashed in and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure it'll run. You guys saw in the previous video earlier from last week that it did start up and run. So I'm expecting it to run. Now, whether it's not, it's going to run good, that's another story. So let me get this jump pack hooked up and we'll get it going. All right, guys, let's get this Jeff we go jump pack hooked up. See if we can make some stuff happen, guys. I'm pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie. And also a little nervous. I mean, we heard it running a minute ago, and I'm probably gonna have to put more coolant, you know, in the car, because I'm sure I didn't fill it full. I didn't see anything leak out, you know, directly out of the engine, so I'm hoping I got the terminal hooked up well enough. We'll find out. Oh, I hear beep, 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 so let's see what happens. That's a parasitic drag on the wheel, the clutch. It's running. Let's let it warm up a little. Let's pour some more coolant and water in. But she's running. Not quite smooth as we thought it would be. we'll let it run and this coolant thermostat to open up. Well, I think we're going to call it good. I think we're going to call it good for today. I think that was a successful run. It did warm up, I'm pretty sure, but I think there's an issue right now. It's not showing any kind of temperature on the, temperature gauge on the dash. So that leads me to believe there's something off. That leads me to believe there's something not hooked up. So I got to figure out where all the temperature gauges are on this engine so I can determine. It's not super warm or anything, so maybe it's just not warm enough yet. I mean, the top radiator hose is warm. Let's see, what about the bottom? It's circulating, the bottom radiator is warm. So yeah, something's up with the temperature gauge. I'm gonna have to look into that, figure out where all the plugs are. But that's where I'm gonna end it for tonight, and hopefully come back very shortly, wrap up the rest of this, do the valve lash. So that'll probably be next weekend, because I gotta order some. I'm gonna order one of those tools. I ordered one, but I ordered the wrong size, so I'm gonna order another tool so I can do the valve lash. But man, I'm freaking pleased. There's no knocking, there's no smoke coming out. I cannot complain. So just the only thing we gotta do is the valve lash. I think that's why it's shaking so much. Also my brain's not working today. It's cold, man. Motor mount. The motor mount. So gotta do that. I'm gonna go clean up and relax for the rest of the night. All right, guys, it's been a couple days since the last clip, and it wasn't running quite right, mainly due to the fact that I didn't have the valve lashed properly, or valve clearances correct with the rockers. I spent some time off camera dialing those in and getting them to where they should be within tolerance. Unfortunately, it's still a little tappy. I think I may have to go through them again after a couple drive cycles or a couple heat and cool cycles, go through and do the valve lash again. Also, I think I need to replace the LMAs on this engine. And if you don't know what LMAs are, I didn't know up until just recently, because I've never had a B series engine that I've ever had to look into the LMAs. But basically what they are, they mean lost motion assemblies. And there's these little springs on the VTEC lobe that helps keep the car proper, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what they mean or what they do. Definitely Google them if you want to find out. But basically, they're not springing back up. They're basically like springs, and they're not springing back up like they should, causing a tapping noise, which I'm not sure if that's exactly what they are. I'm still going to dial in the valve lash the best I can first, and then see how it sounds. But I'm definitely thinking that is, and I've already actually ordered some, so that'll be on the next video that we do on this car. So where we replace the LMAs, because you don't really want to run them in VTEC with the tappy LMAs. Anyways, let's go ahead and start the car up so you guys can hear how it sounds and how it runs after I went ahead and did the valve lash, and then we'll go from there. So let's go over here. Open up the door, don't trip. All right, here we go. What the heck's going on? Uh-oh. And just like that, it's been a year, and I haven't worked on the Del Sol since. Unfortunately, the same exact thing happened with the stupid valves, or something to that effect, and I guess it bent the valves again. I was so devastated after that I just pushed the car out of the shop, and I hadn't touched it since. And in between now and then as well, Garfield passed away, and that really just totally destroyed me for a little while. And I had zero motivation to work on really anything after that, especially the Del Sol, because he was around so much when we were working on the Del Sol. And so I appreciate you guys for putting up with me and waiting for so long. We will get to working on the Del Sol again. I can't imagine it's going to be super soon, but I'm going to have to probably take the head off and just have it machined by professional machine shop, put new valve guides in, put new, valves in and everything. I figure I'll just let them do it. They're the experts when it comes to machining and stuff. So that'll be taken care of, and we'll put it all back together. So hopefully in the next few months, I'll be able to get on that project for you guys, and you'll be able to see this thing come back to life. I am so ready for it to come back to life. I'm very sad that it's been sitting here for so long, and even more sad that my cat got murdered by my next door neighbor's dog. But alas from that, I want to dedicate this video to Garfield the cat. I love that cat probably more than any cat I've ever had, and I miss him every day. So everybody hug your cats for me. Don't let any big nasty dogs around them, and I'll see you guys next time on Too Many Projects Garage.